Many people will say, I tried barefoot running and it didn't work for me. And I say, oh, did you actually have your bare feet on the ground? They go, oh, no, no, no. I go, oh, then you didn't try barefoot running. They go, well, you call your shoes barefoot shoes. I went, I don't do that. Other people came up with that idea of barefoot shoes. And that was the first phrase that people used. And as a search engine marketing person, I needed to use that phrase to make sure people could find me. But then minimalist kind of came out of that when people decided to not use the word barefoot. But the problem is the quote minimalist companies from the shoes, rather, from the big companies, according to Irene Davis's research, weren't minimalist enough. They still had enough padding, enough cushioning that your brain couldn't get the feedback you needed and then would not engender the. So let me back up. It's not about the footwear, it's about the form. If you run with the right form, it's the best thing to do. But when you're in shoes like the modern athletic shoe, it's really, really, it's almost impossible to, because even if you land on your midfoot or the ball of your foot and let your heel come down, with the elevated heel in a shoe like this, your foot isn't coming down far enough. Your Achilles is a spring, and you're not getting the most bang for the buck out of that spring because you're getting in the way of using it. So the idea about a minimalist shoe was let's get rid of a bunch of stuff, but still make it seem like a regular shoe. And according to Irene Davis's research, most minimalist shoes are worse for you than either barefoot or regular shoes because they still have too many things in the way. They still typically have pointy toes, a little too narrow, too much cushioning, etc. So the what happened in the very early days, in late 2009, early 2010, is the big shoe companies thought they were never going to sell another shoe because everyone was just going to start running barefoot. Because when you run barefoot, and I'm not suggesting that you necessarily do it for anyone who's listening, it changed my life because I was getting injured nonstop for the 2 years after I started sprinting again. And running barefoot, I found the form problem that I had that I couldn't feel in regular shoes, and it corrected itself naturally because when you're running barefoot, doing it wrong hurts a lot, and doing it right feels great a lot. You can always spot a barefoot runner from like 50 yards. They have this weird look on their face called, I think it's called smiling. It's just a good time. So anyway, bottom line is, in Irene's research, she identified basically three brands that make shoes that are giving you that barefoot-like experience, but still some protection, still some extra traction, still some insulation, et cetera. It's us, a company out of out of the UK called Vivo Barefoot, and then some, but not all of the Vibram shoes, the five-finger shoes, which had those things fit my feet, I would have never started Xero Shoes, but they never did.